हेलो एवरीवन वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल स्टार्ट लर्निंग। आज आम ये वीडियो माध्यम एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी रेलेवेंस विषय जानिबा। रेलेवेंस ऑफ एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी तो आम एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी किसी रेलेवेंस देखा। रेलेवेंस ऑफ एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी रेलेवेंस ए टीचर इज सेड टू बी ए बिहेवियरल साइंटिस्ट एंड इंजीनियर ऑफ टीचिंग एंड पेडागोजी। शिक्षक को कहा जाए बिहेवियरल साइंटिस्ट बा इंजीनियर ऑफ टीचिंग और पेडागोजी बा टीचिंग रो इंजीनियर। In order to be an effective and successful teacher, she or he should learn educational psychology. जो इफेक्टिव और सक्सेसफुल टीचर है एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी जानिबा निहाती दरकार निहाती उचित। The study of educational psychology is helpful for him or her to understand the learner, his growth and development. एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी को स्टडी करने द्वारा यह हेल्पफुल होता है टू अंडरस्टैंड बुझापी लर्नर ग्रोथ डेवलपमेंट इंटरेस्ट एटीट्यूड मोटिवेशन मेंटल एबिलिटीज बिहेवियर ऑफ द ग्रुप एटसेट्रा टू अंडरस्टैंड प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ टीचिंग एंड लर्निंग प्रोसेस एंड लर्निंग सिचुएशन एंड टू गाइड स्टूडेंट्स लर्निंग इफेक्टिवली और स्टूडेंट्स लर्निंग को इफेक्टिवली गाइड करी हुई है। लर्निंग प्रोसेस लर्निंग सिचुएशन सबको भल भाव स्टडी करी हुए एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी जानिबा द्वारा। एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी स्टडी करने द्वारा यह जानापी हेल्प होता है। रेलेवेंस ऑफ एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी फॉर द टीचर कैन बी कैप्चर अंडर द फॉलोइंग पॉइंट्स। टीचर एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी किसी रेलेवेंस को एठारे कैप्चर कराई से आलोचना करवा। अंडरस्टैंडिंग द लर्नर the dictum goes the teacher taught John Latin. To teach John Latin, the teacher should have fundamental knowledge of John, a student, first before he knows Latin. But how can a teacher know John as a better pupil? The answer can be better solved by the learning. The answer can be better solved by learning the methods of educational psychology. In following ways, the true picture of the learner can be snapped. To know and understand individual difference. Discarding the old notion that anything can be taught to anyone, now emphasis is given on the concept of individual difference. ताले एठी में emphasis देबा individual difference विषय। Educational psychology deals mostly with needs, interest and capacities of children. एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी मोस्टली डील करे गोटे चिल्ड्रेन रो नीड इंटरेस्ट और कैपेसिटी उपरे। The teacher with the knowledge of differences may teach students according with the eye upon the needs and requirements of learners to maximize learning in them. Teacher can also create a conducive environment to reveal the innate potentialities of the learners. Second bit में देखा जदि to understand heredity and environment. Heredity और environment को बुझिबावे। Personality, growth and development, intelligence, interest, attitude and learning process of the learner depend upon two vital factors. ताले हमर दीटा vital factor ऊपर depend करे personality, growth, development, intelligence, interest, attitude and learning process गोटे learner रो। ताले से दीटा vital factor कौन गोटे होची heredity और second टा होची environment. While heredity supplies raw material for adequate growth and development, heredity जेतेबेले हमर सप्लाई करूची raw material growth और development ପାଇଁ सेतेबेले हमर environment कोन करूची builds the personality and shapes the behavior. Personality को तैयारी करूची और shape देउची behavior को. Thus a knowledge of the twin factors can be helpful for the teacher to provide congenial environment for the proper growth and development of the learners. Proper growth और development पे learner रो. To know mental hygiene. Knowledge of mental health of the child is essential for facilitating his or her adjustment. गोटे child को कौन से गोटे situation adjustment करने ପାଇଁ तार mental health बहुत essential. Educational psychology describes factors hindering mental health and suggest earnest measures to restore a sound mental health. Thus, a knowledge of the mental health is helpful for the teacher to diagnose abnormalities and take proper measures for their removal. As such, mental health of the children can be promoted for a better adjustment in learning situation. ତାହେଲେ ଜଣେ ଚିଲଡ୍ରେନର ମେଣ୍ଟାଲ ହେଲ୍ଥଟା ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ସିଚୁଏସନରେ ବେଟର ଆଡଜଷ୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରମୋଟ କରିଥାଏ। To understand developmental characteristics, every child passes through different stages of development. प्रत्येक प्रत्येक चाइल्ड पास करे डिफरेंट स्टेज ମାନେ ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ବିକାଶର ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଷ୍ଟେଜ୍ ପାସ୍ କରିକି ଯାଆନ୍ତି ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ଚାଇଲ୍ଡ। ତ ଯେମିତିକି ହେଉଛି ଇନଫାନ୍ସି, ଚାଇଲ୍ଡହୁଡ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଆଡୋଲେସେନ୍ସ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଷ୍ଟେଜେସ୍ ହ୍ୟାଭ୍ ଦେୟାର peculiar characteristics. Teacher, in order to teach effectively, must have the knowledge of developmental milestones and characteristics. ଇଫେକ୍ଟିଭଲି ଟିଚ୍ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଚିଲଡ୍ରେନକୁ ଟିଚରକୁ ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ଜାଣିବା ଦରକାର ଚାଇଲ୍ଡର ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟାଲ ମାଇଲଷ୍ଟୋନ୍ ବିଷୟରେ ଆଉ କ୍ୟାରେକ୍ଟରିଷ୍ଟିକ୍ ବିଷୟରେ। Educational psychology helps the prospective teacher to organize educational activities to bring qualitative changes in the behavior of the learners. एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी हेल्प करे टीचर को ऑर्गेनाइज करने पे एजुकेशनल एक्टिविटीज रे टू ब्रिंग क्वालिटेटिव चेंजेस आने पे लर्नर बिहेवियर रे। तापर सेकंड पॉइंट रो अछि टू सिलेक्ट एंड ऑर्गेनाइज enriched learning experiences. After proper understanding of the learner, the task of the teacher is to select and organize learning experiences according to the interest, needs and age of the children. लर्नर को प्रॉपर अंडरस्टैंडिंग कर सारा टीचर को टास्क होची टू सिलेक्ट और ऑर्गेनाइज कर लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस अकॉर्डिंग टू लर्नर इंटरेस्ट, नीड और एज को देखिकी सिलेक्ट और ऑर्गेनाइज करवा दरकार लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस को। Therefore, two significant questions strike to the mind of the prospective teacher. दीटा क्वेश्चन स्ट्राइक करिवो माइंड रे। से दीटा क्वेश्चन कौन टीचर कौन क्वेश्चन है पर फास्ट होची व्हाट टाइप ऑफ लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस आर टू बी प्रोवाइडेड, को प्रकार लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस प्रोवाइड करिवे। आउ सेकंड रे होची हाउ शुड दोज लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंसेस बी ऑर्गेनाइज, आउ किपरि भाबरे तांको ऑर्गेनाइज करिवे। सो टीचर शुड अंडरस्टैंड वेरियस कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ द लर्नर एट डिफरेंट स्टेजेस ऑफ डेवलपमेंट, मोटिवेशनल एंड maturational level and nature and laws of learning. So educational psychology enables the teacher to select and organize learning experiences considering the appropriateness of the age, motivational level and laws and principles of learning for stimulating learning of the children. तापर होची to know and understand the learning process. Learning process is the process by which individuals act when they learn, which may be observed directly or indirectly. Learning process होची गोटे प्रोसेस जहाँ द्वारा कि इंडिविजुअल एक्ट करते हैं when they learn, which may be observed directly or indirectly. सेटा ऑब्जर्व करा जाता है डायरेक्टली बा इनडायरेक्टली। फॉर एग्जांपल गोटे एग्जांपल जल्दी नेबा एक्टिविटीज ऑफ ए चाइल्ड like writing, reading, computing, problem solving, interacting with others in the class or in group can be observed directly, while mental abilities as perceiving, thinking, remembering, etc. can be observed indirectly. ताले हम जदि एग्जांपल नेबा गोटे चाइल्ड रो राइटिंग, रीडिंग, कंप्यूटिंग, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग, इंटरेक्टिंग विथ अदर्स एगुड़ा होचे हम कोन डायरेक्टली ऑब्जर्व करि पारुछे। जदि मेंटल एबिलिटीज को देखिबा जेमति कि होचे थिंकिंग, रिमेम्बरिंग ए सब कोन आमे इनडायरेक्टली ऑब्जर्व करूछु। It is a process by which children acquire changes in their behavior, improve performance. ए गोटे प्रोसेस जहाँ माध्यम चिल्ड्रेन एक्वायर करे चेंजेस इन देयर बिहेवियर चेंज करे, इम्प्रूव करे परफॉर्मेंस रे रीऑर्गेनाइज देयर थिंकिंग रे रीऑर्गेनाइज करि पारंती और डिस्कवर न्यू वे से खोजि पारंती बिहेवियर tracing out concepts and acquiring information. The process by which a child gets knowledge, skill, information and changes his attitude and interest is known as learning process. Learning process हमें कहा कहवा the process by which a child gets knowledge, गोटे प्रोसेस जहाँ माध्यम गोटे चाइल्ड नॉलेज गेट करे, स्किल, इनफॉरमेशन एंड चेंजेस हिज एटीट्यूड एंड इंटरेस्ट इज नोन एज लर्निंग प्रोसेस. Methods of teaching, principles of learning, and classroom climate can contribute to the learning process. The teacher can impact teaching if she or he has the knowledge of the process. To understand and arrange learning situation. Learning space offers an opportunity to learn with else and confidence. As previously mentioned, ଯେମିତିକି ଆମେ ପୂର୍ବରୁ ମେନସନ୍ କରିଥିଲେ learning situation generally refers to the conditions of the environment influencing both the learners and the learning process. It also includes the classroom setting and interaction, institutional arrangement, social and emotional climate of the institution, administration and discipline of the institution, provision of co-curricular activities and freedom, teachers' personality, and so on. A pupil will learn if learning situation or environment is conducive for his learning. Thus, knowledge of the educational psychology can help the prospective teacher to know and understand all about these learning situations for impacting lesson. To understand and adopt effective methods of teaching. Generally, problems of teaching at different stages can be solved by adoption of suitable teaching strategy and method. Generally, a problem of teaching. Teaching a problem ମାନେ different stage teaching a problem solve କରାଯାଇଥାଏ adoption of suitable teaching strategy and method. Suitable teaching strategy और method द्वारा generally teaching a problem ଗୋଟେ different stage ରେ solve କରାଯାଇଥାଏ. Educational psychology acquaints the teacher with an array of modern methods of teaching which can motivate students for learning. It also suggests learning. It also suggests that no single method or technique is adequate for all kind of learners at different circumstances. It also suggests ମାନେ ଏହା ମଧ୍ୟ ସଜେଷ୍ଟ କରାଯାଇଛି ଯେ କୌଣସି ଗୋଟେ ସିଙ୍ଗଲ ମେଥଡ଼ ବା ଟେକ୍ନିକ୍ ନାହିଁ ଯାହାକି ସବୁ ପ୍ରକାର ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣରଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ସର୍କମଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସେସରେ. In other words, students' attitudes, aptitudes, interests, and capacities need to be taken into consideration while teaching them. Further, educational psychology helps the teacher to select a proper device or methodology in consonance with the needs and interests of the learners and the warrant of situation. ତାହେଲେ ଆମର ଏଜୁକେସନାଲ ସାଇकोଲୋଜି ହେଲ୍ପ କରେ ଟିଚରଙ୍କୁ ସିଲେକ୍ଟ କରିବା ପ୍ରପର ଡିଭାଇସ୍ ଅର୍ ମେଥଡୋଲୋଜି ଇନ୍ କନସୋନାନ୍ସ with the needs and interest of the learner. Need of interest को नहीं की and the warrant of situations. So adoption of appropriate method of teaching is said to be the touchstone of successful teaching. ତେଣୁ ତେଣୁ appropriate method of teaching ମାନେ teaching appropriate method को କୁହାଯାଏ touchstone of successful teaching ର touchstone. ତାପରେ 6 ନମ୍ବର ପଏଣ୍ଟ ଆସ ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା to understand problems of childrenର ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମକୁ ଅଣ୍ଡରଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡ କରିବା. Educational psychology throws a search light on the multifarious problems of children and suggests ways to solve them. As if not solved timely, they pose a grave threat to the learning environment and they get compounded and complicated. A teacher faces behavioral problems like truancy, bullying, lying, cheating, stealing, inattentiveness, denying the authority, etc., which violate the academic culture. Thus, educational psychology helps the teacher to trace out causes of such problems and to show the way to solve them for bringing the problematic and backward children to the mainstream of educational process. By applying therapeutic principles, the maladjusted behaviors can be rectified and modified adequately. ତାପରେ ହେଉଛି realization of educational aims. Educational psychology helps teacher in accomplishing two major aims of it. ତାହେଲେ educational psychology help करे teacher को Psychology helps teacher in accomplishing to major aims of it. Firstly, data major aim. First aim ta hochi educational psychology aims at helping teacher in enhancing and enriching his own personal life by modification of his attitude, thought process, goals, ideas, values, feelings, and improvement and enrichment of his knowledge. First educational psychology aim करे मैंने student teacher को help करे पे. Firstly, educational psychology aims at helping teacher in enhancing and enriching his own personal life by modification of his attitude, thought process, goals, ideas, values, feelings, and improvement and enrichment of his knowledge. Enhance ଆଉ enrich କରିଥାଏ ତାଙ୍କର own personal life ଉପରେ କିପରି ଭାବରେ modification of attitude, thought process, goal, ideas, values, feelings, and improvement and enrichment of his knowledge. Second major aim होची it aims at helping the teacher to bring about improvement in the quality of instruction. So it is a professional aim to train the teacher in delivering quality teaching to the educants. So a sound knowledge of educational psychology helps the teacher in improving a teaching learning process. 8 number point होची curriculum construction. Simply, curriculum is the totality of experiences that pupil receives through the manifold activities in the school and out of the school. Rejecting the so-called subject-centered curriculum, psychology embraces child-centered pedocentric curriculum, which is based on the needs, aspirations, interest, attitude, motives, age, and abilities of children. Emphasis is laid on a balanced approach to frame curriculum considering the current needs of society and nation in one hand and needs of individual learners on the other. Knowledge of educational psychology is of much importance to design curriculum with a view to providing an array of opportunities and a bagful of experiences of different sorts to make the child fit in the changing scenario of the world. Measurement and evaluation of learning outcomes. To know visible changes occur in the behavior of the child in three major domains of learning. ତାର ତିନିଟା ମେଜର ଡୋମେନ୍ ହେଇଥାଏ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂର ସେ ତିନିଟା ମେଜର ଡୋମେନ୍ କ'ଣ cognitive, affective and cognitive as a result of delivering of a handful of learning experiences by selecting appropriate strategy and media through proper methods. The teacher takes the help of psychological tools such as intelligent test, personality inventories, interest inventories, etc. टीचर आमर साइकोलॉजिकल टूल्स रो हेल्प नहीं थांती कि जेमती कि साइकोलॉजिकल टूल्स मध्य आमर इंटेलिजेंस टेस्ट जाउची अचीवमेंट टेस्ट जाउची पर्सनालिटी इन्वेंटोरीज जाउची एहीपरि हो मोरेवर नॉन टेस्टिंग टूल्स लाइक ऑब्जर्वेशन नॉन टेस्टिंग टूल को गुड़ा जाउची ऑब्जर्वेशन इंटरव्यू रेटिंग स्केल्स चेकलिस्ट anecdotal record case study sociometric devices etc are of much helpful for the teacher in assigning the learning outcomes. After evaluation of learning by the yardstick of aims and objectives, she or he is able to discover any faults committed by him or her in the process of teaching. Evaluation as such gives a feedback to the teacher to sustain or modify the styles and approaches of delivering instruction. Therefore, she or he can evaluate his or her teaching methods in the light of the performance of students. Thus, knowledge of educational psychology is essential to perform the tasks of evaluation efficiently and easily.